guess thoughts, 2-1, your best start since you got here. Overall thoughts after another nice win.
After watching film, I really feel like our defense played very, very well. I mean, played very aggressive, got some great turnovers, put our offense in some great field positions. And, I just thought they played the game the way it was supposed to be played. Very physical up front on the D-line, physical by our linebackers. Secondary was really breaking on the ball and doing the things that we needed them to do. And it was great by them. I think offensively, I still think we're a few steps away. You can see, moments where we're going to look pretty good. And, ended up with about, I think we had 200 yards rushing offensively. That's what I really want to get established offensively is get the run game going because that's going to open up the pass game tremendously, if we can do those things. And we've got to get it started early. And hopefully that starts to happen this week. We've got a great opponent, but I feel good about our team, and they feel good. I feel good about the things that they're doing, and they're getting better each week. And it's got to continue to work on the little things, and that's what we're preaching right now: little things, fundamentals, techniques, foot placements, whatever it might be. Focus on those things and make yourself a better football player.
It seems like the tackling has improved. I know you're disappointed after the Central Oklahoma game. Is progressing the way you'd like?
Tackling, it's that first game you never know what you're going to get. You're not used to a lot of full live tackling, in practice because it doesn't happen a lot, especially when you start getting into game week. So, there's a lot of thud, taking pretty good angles, but, getting game situations, different speeds, different guys running the ball than what you're used to in practice. And I think our guys are used to tackling now. They're taking the proper angles. They're doing the things that they need to do to get themselves in good position. Their pad level's lower. And I think a lot of it is, they're actually pursuing to the ball and understanding what they're doing defensively. And but sometimes when you're unsure, you're hesitating a little bit on what you're supposed to do. And I thought we played a little hesitant, that first game. Where the last two games, we haven't been very hesitant. Our guys know exactly what they're doing defensively, and they're getting to the ball. And when you get to the ball and get 10 guys around the ball, you're probably not going to miss tackles very often. That first game, you didn't see hardly many guys around the ball at all. And now you see tons of guys getting there.
You mentioned the 200 yards thing. You said that a couple games ago. We need to be right around 200 yards. They've taken that to heart a little bit.
They have, but I want to start earlier. I don't want 35, 40 yards in the first half. I like to get 100 yards first half, 100 yards second half. And if we can do that early, I just think that opens up our offense a little bit more. And we're getting closer. We need to start a little bit faster than what we've started. On the offensive side of the ball and start getting first downs and grind out the clock and get some points on the board early. And I think we're close to it. It's just a matter of time, and hopefully it starts this week. We got a great opponent, but hopefully this week we can get it started.
What's the fix for Travion so he's hitting his receivers, bouncing them in or 4 yards over the top of their head?
We need to play a quarter before we start the game. Just being calm. He just needs to calm himself down a little bit. He's got such a strong arm. And just relax. He just plays so tight sometimes and puts too much pressure on himself. And just go out there and be the kid that we see every day in practice. Have fun, enjoy yourself, make the plays that you can make. Don't be scared to bring the ball down and take off running, because there's a few times in there where he can score, get a first down, pretty easy. And that's what he's got to do. Just take the game under control, relax, enjoy yourself, and see things and make things happen. Don't force anything. We know you got the arm, we know you got the talent. You don't need to stress, just relax and have fun.
How do you evaluate the offensive line's play? You mentioned the running, and it seems like second half they've really taken off, but overall, how do you evaluate the line?
Pretty good. I thought they did a great job of, after the figure down, after halftime, we really did a good job of getting off the ball, wearing the defense down, this week and starting to get our run game going. We need to start that early. We need to try to wear them down in the first half. And I thought, pass blocking wise, we're doing a great job. I don't know how many sacks we've given up, 2 or 3 maybe this season. That's 1 per game, which I don't think is horrible. I think that's still pretty good. And, they're getting stronger each week. They're, it's a group of kids that a lot of them haven't played together. You got Colby Hamill's new, and Herbert was out all last year. You got Dickey, who's still a very young kid, and, we're young. And, you got Stint that we're putting in there. Chico Feltenberger didn't play for us last year, so they're still trying to get their click, still trying to get how they fit in, and they're still working together. And it's probably about that time of the season that they start feeling comfortable with one another, know exactly what each other's doing.
You mentioned starting quickly on offense. Pitt State is a team that has started very quickly on offense. A couple of their games they kind of just took their opponent out of it before you really got started. What has to happen to avoid that?
I think offensively first we need to control the clock. Get some first downs. Try to keep them off the field as much as possible. Defensively, don't give up the big play. That's the main thing. They have a lot of big hitters, They've had a lot of runs that break, for 30, 40, 50 yards. And we got to eliminate those. If we can make them, earn their way all the way downfield, first and 10, second and 7, third and 5, and continue to do that through the game, hopefully eventually they're going to make a mistake. Can't give up the big one. I mean, that's the whole key, and that's what they're living on right now is the big play, and we got to eliminate those things. Yeah, they've had some 8, 9, 10-yard drives, but there's been a lot of them where they're 3, 4, 5, 6 We and that's it. We got to make them work, to earn those yards.
Are they throwing more? I mean, it seems like they aired it out a little bit more.
They have, they are throwing a little bit more than they have in the past. They used to be a run dominant, only, but they are throwing the ball quite a bit more now. But I think teams are letting them, stacking the box, trying to take away the run, right off the bat, and they're, leaving some holes open in their secondary. Got to be balanced. I feel like we got to be balanced defensively to whatever keeps us strongest on the run and in the pass game, and hopefully make some things happen. But they've thrown the ball more now than they've had in the past.
A lot about their offense, and they score quickly, but their defense. I mean, they've hardly given up anything. What do they do? What makes them so good?
They pursue the ball. They play fast. They do a good job in their route recognition, coverage wise, and where guys are supposed to be. They're very they don't do a lot kind of like we do on defense. And they got a couple coverages that they're really, really solid at. Got a couple pressures that they're really solid at, and they slant and twist, and they get good at what they do, and they're doing some good things right now. And we got to find a way to attack those things and try to get after them. But they're physical, they run hard, they play fast, and they're going to get to the ball in a hurry, and that's something we got to try to eliminate.
You mentioned when you with your offense, you worry about them being a little intimidated when they see some of those stats, and Pitt State's not giving up.
You look at it and you see what they're doing, and I mean, as an offensive guy, I kind of take that to heart a little bit. Hey, this is what they've done to other offenses. Let's not let that happen to us. Let's go out and take control, take a little pride in yourself and what you're doing, and make sure we're doing the things necessary to be successful. And if that means watching more film or practicing a little bit harder than what you have, you need to do those things. But take pride in what we got here, and make sure those things don't happen to us.
This is a weird schedule. It's been a couple of years since Pitt State and Fort Hays has played. We know who Pitt State is and where they're ranked and kind of stuff. But does the team understand who Pitt State is?
A few of them do, because my first year here, they were here. Some of them don't, but for the most part, yeah, they know. Because you hear it all the time, when the polls come out, the rankings and the regional rankings, and around the conference, people talking about Pitt State and Northwest and Mo West, all those teams. Guys know who they are. They know they're a good football team, and they know what they got to do to have a chance to go down there and win this ball game. And it's about work and understanding your assignments and doing the things you need to do to win. And they're taking ownership this week. This week's practice, first week, but it was a very good practice. And you can hear them talking about it out there on the field. Hey, we got to go this week. We got a great team we're playing. It's a chance for us to show that we're ready to play at this level.
It's a unique environment down there. It's changed since you played, and with the stadium expansion. 10,000 plus every game. Do you talk about that with your team, and what can you do to help them be prepared to handle an environment like that?
Yeah, I talked to them about it today. They're going to have a lot of people there. Probably 10 to 15,000 people, standing room only right now. And I said, step on the football field. It's just a football game. You look at the sidelines, you look at the end zones. That's where the game's played. Don't worry about what's happening in the stands and the noise and the things around you. Just play football. Keep your focus right here on the field, and things are going to work out for you. You can't get all caught up in the, the hoop and the haw and the noise and the jumbotron and the decker, all that stuff. Just get on the field. It's a football field. It's the same football field we got, same width, same length, same hash marks. Just go play football.
You talked about preparation and how your team has their approach to games and the preparation throughout the week changed even from the start of the season?
I think the first game we didn't watch as much film. I didn't think they studied their scouting reports as much as they had the last 2 weeks, and you can really tell. I'm being on the defensive side most of the time that I am now. In practice, guys are seeing formations and being able to call out things. They're seeing different sets and understanding what they're trying to do and how teams are trying to attack us. And when your defense can do that, it gives them an advantage. Because now they got a hand up on them and know exactly what they're going to do to us. And you've seen a lot more of that the last 2 weeks than you did the first week. And I think that's why our defense has progressed so much, because they're focused. They understand what's happening in the game. We're seeing sets and expecting. They know what's getting ready to come. And I think it's made them a better football team. And you got guys talking and communicating all the time, and now they're ready to understand what's happening.
Does this game have any different significance for you, and especially Coach Harris? This and next to Washburn, the places you played and you coached, or is it?
It's just another game to me. Yeah, it's my alma mater. It'd be fun to go down there and beat them, and all those things. Beat the coaches that used to coach me. But you got to treat it just like it's a football game. I mean, you can't do anything different than what you've done in the past, and that's how I'm going to treat it. It's just another game. It's another great opponent. We got to be ready to play on both sides of the ball. We're going to play physical. We're going to play aggressive. We're going to have to create turnovers on defense, get first downs on offense, and score some points. But it's no different to me. Before the game, I'm sure I'll talk a lot with those coaches, just like I will when we go to Washburn. That when the lights come on, it's we're not friends anymore. After the game, we're back to friends, and that's just kind of, they see it the same way as I do. And it's just another game that we got to go focus on and try to win.
We expect to see Michael Terry at the end
again. He's done some great things there for us, and he's continued to do it for us, and he just, he probably will. He just does a good job of squeezing, does a good job of slanting inside, and does a good job of containing the quarterback, and get a great pass rush out of him as well. A little different week for him this week. They're a little bit stronger up front with their run game and power game, so he's going to be, play a little more physical than he has the last couple of weeks. But yeah, you can expect to see him probably there again.
Any update on Raheem and Drew?
Raheem, it's day to day with him. It might be a week, it might be 2 weeks. You might be back this week. It just depends on how fast his ankle progresses back into it. Still got some swelling, still got some pretty good soreness in it, and I can see him coming back. Who's the other one he asked about? Drew, a couple days rest. You get Drew a couple days rest. Growing pull just needs a couple days to rest. We're gonna rest him the next couple days and see how he comes back. JP's ready to go. He does a great job, and then I think Jordan Stangler, the backup, can do a great job as well.
Talking about your game Saturday, it seemed like you were everywhere, all around the ball. Just reading the plays better, or why did it just seem like a breakout game for you?
Yeah, it was sometimes better to be lucky than good. I was in the right place at the right time and was fortunate enough to make the plays.
This defense seemed like that they were just, as Coach Brandon said before, just playing football. Not as much thinking, just going out and playing football. Did it seem like that to you guys, that maybe this was one of the better defensive performances you've ever had?
Oh, yes, most definitely. I mean, you could see we're flying around to the ball, getting there quicker. And like Coach Brown said, a lot of that comes from watching film. So we know what to expect when they come out in formation. So we know what plays they're going to run more than likely. So it makes for easier reads and we can get to the ball quicker.
He mentioned that it seems like everybody's watching more film now compared to going into the first game of the year. Is that the case?
Yes, sir, that's the case.
What brought that on?
Just knowing, when we lost to UCO, that kind of shocked us. It was just like a wake-up call. We really got to step up what we're doing. We can't have that happen ever again, And just preparing for those games to come out and get a hard-fought battle and get a victory out of it. And doing whatever it takes to win.
How much of the defensive success so far through the 2 games has to do with the depth and how many guys can play at each position?
It is nice having depth. A lot of us will go on defense, and then we're on a bunch of special teams as well. So it's key when you have a backup or two that can go in and play, and there's no letdowns out there. Keep your legs fresh throughout the whole game. So that is very helpful.
One of your linebackers is playing more in front of you than beside you now with Michael Terry at the defensive end spot. What have you seen from his transition to that position?
He's been doing a great job for us. He's getting the backfield, causing havoc for the quarterbacks. But they've been a lot of, Lindenwood was a passing team, so he could get in the backfield and create some havoc. But now he's got Pitt State, in a strong up-front team, good run team, and we'll see what he can do against them. I expect nothing less than him to play well and perform at his best capability.
Watching the film, you guys talk about how much film you're watching. What do you see out of Pitt State that is concerning, I guess, maybe for this Saturday?
They're a lot bigger than the other teams that we've played. They got a lot of good athletes out there. All they're very good playmakers, and they're just consistent. Just a well-rounded, consistent team, and make very, very few mistakes. And they really capitalize on defensive mistakes. So we got to really cut down mental errors out there.
Any extra pressure because of that, the way they capitalize?
Yes and no. You just got to go out there and play football. You can't be too shy to make errors. You got to go out there and just play the game you know how to play. We've all been playing this since we were kids, so just got to go out there and play the game we know.
In terms of you backing out your inside linebackers, like they finally found a place for you. Are you most comfortable right now as any time you've been here?
Yeah, I mean, I really like the transition to inside linebacker. I was planning on playing a little bit of outside backer and inside, but they got the twins out there, and they're doing a great job for us, tremendous. And, I mean, inside just feels a lot more natural for me, a better spot, better fit for me.
Talk about your progression. You come here as a walk-on, you earned a scholarship, and then the game you had on Saturday. It's been a pretty whirlwind ride in a short period of time.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's a good story. I mean, I came here, walked on, and I had intentions of being a wide receiver. And the very first day I grabbed a black jersey. I didn't know that meant you're on defense. And so, I mean, I just kind of rolled with it. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll go defense. And I just went with the outside backers. And then next thing I know, I'm with inside backers. So, I mean, it's cool. I mean, it's a nice transition to go to inside backer.
Seems like you've gotten off to slow starts, and then you kind of get on track and finish strong. I'm sure it's frustrating. Able to figure out any reason why? It just seems like early in the game it hasn't quite clicked right away offensively.
Man, I just got to go out there and play and just not let stuff get to me so easily. You know, I mean, I'm in a little slump right now, but going into Pitt State, I'm very confident. I mean, I'm very confident in my offense, and we got to get it rolling somehow, some way, and I got to be the guy to get us rolling.
Talk about your offensive line. They seem to be protecting you well. There were several times on Saturday the pocket was very clean, and then you maybe have to roll out late. Talk about how your offensive line has been playing.
I think they understand that I'm in a little slump, you know. So they've always protected great, but now it's even more pressure for them just to protect better because I'm in a little slump. So I mean, I really award those guys. I took them out to eat last night, got them a good meal, spent about $100 for them big guys. So I mean, I award them for that. And I love my big guys, man.
Seems like the offense is close, though. I mean, like the long pass across the middle to Williams, just off the tip of 10. I mean, do you feel that it's very close and you go at any time?
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. I really feel like going into Pitt State, everybody is confident and ready to go. I mean, it's going to be a packed game, and it's going to be exciting. We got to go out there and play football.
Watching some of the short passes, they bounced in a couple of times. Is that things that is happening in practice as well, or is it just during the game?
You mean like the short passes that we ran? Like
yeah, they kind of came in short on the throw thing.
That's just getting me going. You know, you got to start short. You got to start with some completions. I mean, Coach Schreiber understand that when something goes wrong, that you got to find a way to get his quarterback going, you know, and there may be a short pass just to get a completion, to get my confidence back up from that incomplete pass, you know. So, I mean, we got to get it done. Got to get it done fast.
Lots made of Pittsburgh State's offense, and they score a lot of points, and their defense has given up hardly anything. I mean, you guys, it seems like you have to really get after them early Saturday because they've been so good. What have you seen in their defense that's a concern maybe?
I mean, from watching film, they're just a confident group of guys. I mean, when you winning and you playing what you playing, I mean, you should be confident. So when you're confident, you running faster. It's nowhere where you're not making many mistakes because you're confident out there. I mean, that's the only thing. But watching film from the other teams is plays to be made. They make mistakes. They're just like any other team. They're very beatable. We got to come ready to play.
How's the confidence level on this team? I would think it's as high as it's been.
For sure. We're confident. I'm confident. And we just, hey, we go in there. We leave Friday. Got to get it done.
What is it about how well this team plays on the road? For whatever reason, under Coach Brown, you guys play well on the road. What's different from those games compared to home games?
I think it's just because it's just us. I mean, it's not the people who we see every day in school who's expecting so much out of us. It's just the team, and we're a family. We know that we are the only people there, so we gotta bring back a W for our hometown.
Talk a little bit about your emergence. It seems like the last couple of weeks you've really kind of stepped up and had some really, really good ball games.
Oh yeah, you know, like Coach Brown said, we're all watching film a lot more, and so I've been getting a lot more film in, learning my keys and figuring out some little tricks, you know, that I can learn from the O-line or something. and figure out what play they're playing. And I feel like these last couple of weeks I've ran to the ball a lot faster, and I had a quad injury the first couple of weeks, and so I think that slowed me down, but that's getting back up there. So I think just my pursuit to the ball was getting a lot better and faster.
From the booth on Saturday, it seemed like the defense was extremely physical, maybe more physical in the last 3 or 4 years that I've been watching them. Was that the case? Did it seem like the defense was a little more violent maybe than it had been?
Yeah, I'd say we were more physical, and it showed out there. We were all out there having fun, running around. We were getting all 11 guys to the ball, and when you do that, you're going to have a more physical game, which is key to winning games as well. So, yeah, I think we were more physical.
Also seeing that maybe you guys were thinking less and just reacting and playing. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, that goes back to the whole film thing and knowing our keys, and we don't have to think, what if they run this play? We know, the options that they have out of that formation, and it's less thinking on us, and we're just able to play better.
Transferring in here on a defense that did have so many returners and things, did you feel like you would have an impact like you had right away?
Not immediately when I came in here, but then as the spring went on, I realized that in order to get where I wanted to be and be a starter, that I was going to have to make an impact on the team during the spring and show what I had and play my best. And then after the spring, fall camp started, and I started kind of slow. And then as things went on, I realized that I got to pick it up or I'm not going to get starting position or get any first time playing, and so that's what I did.
It's your first taste of the MIAA through these first 3 weeks. What's your impression of the league so far?
It's a tough league, compared to like the JUCO level. There's older players here, the O-linemen, bigger, some of them, and just the backs and receivers and stuff. I mean, as far as athletically, the guys at JUCO are, there's great athletes there, but the guys in the MIAA, they've had more time to develop, so they've gotten bigger, and it's a fun league.
The success you had at a program like Hutch, were there some other offers to go other places, and I guess what made you choose Fort Hays?
Yeah, I had some more D2 offers and, NAIA offers and stuff, but I came down here on a visit. I was kind of late making a decision, so I came down here, saw what they had to offer, and I'm originally from Ellis, and so I know a lot of people around here, and just felt like this would be a good community to get into, to have a lot of fans to support me, and just knowing people here really helped my decision.
Being a Kansas kid, you know the Pitt State name. Does that have any bearing getting ready for this week, knowing that you're playing against one of the best teams in the nation?
It does in a way, but I still look at it as just another game, another team that we have to go out there and, play more physical than and defeat. They've won multiple national championships and stuff, but, that was the teams before them. And so, if we prepare like we need to, I think it's going to be a good game. Their offense is pretty dynamic. They do a lot of things. What's the key to containing them somewhat to give you guys a chance? Oh, yeah, their offense, they don't, like Schmidt said, they don't make very many mistakes, and they capitalize on defensive mistakes. So I think we go out there and, we just play the game that we know we can play and, get our mental mistakes down, read our keys, alignment's a real big thing. If we get aligned right to them and everything, then I think we should be able to stop them and get done what we need to.